So we need to weaken the argument to the left. And so we have the age at which a woman was married in 1960 was between 20 and 21. Now it's approximately 25. Therefore, and this is our conclusion that we need to weaken, most new brides in 1960 were considerably younger than most new brides today, a difference of 4 or 5 years. So one of the things you can do when you're looking to weaken an argument or doing anything related to the assumption is look for terms and ideas that appear in the conclusion that didn't appear in the evidence. And it's tricky because sometimes the difference will be small, but in this case we have the difference between the age at which a woman gets married and that's in the two evidence statements. The conclusion has new brides in it. There's a difference between getting married and getting married for the first time. So the conclusion is drawing the average age at which someone gets married, just looking at marriage certificates or something where it has somebody's birthday on it, and saying, hey, this person was 23 at the time that this person got married, as opposed to that this is the person's first marriage. So the way that you can weaken this argument is to say that these aren't necessarily their first marriages. Especially the one where the average is higher. Because, one way that you can raise the average is to get married more than once. So, you could have the same number of people getting married at 20 and 21, and then have a second, if you get married then after that, that raises the average age of marriage, even though it's the same person counting twice or more. Anyway, let's look for something like that in the answer choices. So in the 60s, a higher percentage of the population was married than is married today. So percentage of the population that's married would not actually affect the average. It's based on fewer people. Now, if we accept A as true, but having fewer people in there should not necessarily affect the average itself. So that's not it. B, because of the increased prevalence of divorce, more women are entering into second marriages in their 30s and 40s. So here is a way that we can increase the average and undermine the conclusion that the new brides were younger. So if these women in their 30s and 40s were still 20 and 21 when they got married the first time, then new brides in 1960 were not any younger. New brides are the same age, but the marriage age goes up because people are going into second marriages, third marriages, fourth marriages. So this is pretty clearly the way that we're going to get a higher average in the modern era. Let's check the other answers though. C, women today often chose to delay marriage as they spend their early 20s focusing on their careers. Well, this would explain why new brides were younger, but we need to weaken that conclusion, not strengthen it. D, the majority of women who chose to get married today have college degrees as opposed to when they had high school diplomas. That tells us nothing about the age at which they get married. Well, it does tell us that they're a little bit older, but actually you would have a high school diploma or a college degree at 21 either way. Fine, so that's irrelevant. E, engagements were commonly shorter in the 60s than they are today. Again, that would partially explain why they got married younger, and we are trying to say that they didn't get married for the first time any younger in the 60s. So this would actually strengthen the argument rather than weaken it. That leaves us back with B. Second marriages are raising the average, and new brides are the same age.